So you've seen the headlines, right? The crazy hype, the wild price tags. Well, today, we're going to cut through all that noise to figure out what NFTs really are and why they might just matter a whole lot more than you think.
When most people hear the word NFT, this is pretty much what comes to mind, isn't it? An expensive JPEG, some digital picture that's somehow sold for a completely astronomical price. It's the first thing everyone thinks of, and honestly, you can't blame them.
But what if I told you that was just the very, very tip of a massive iceberg? That focusing only on the art is kind of like judging the entire internet based on its very first clunky web page. Because underneath that surface, there's some seriously powerful technology at play.
So let's do it. Let's strip away all the hype and start with the absolute basics. What is an NFT, really? Okay, NFT. It stands for Non-Fungible Token. A token is just a way of saying it's a digital entry on a blockchain, which is basically a public record book that no single person or company gets to control. But the real magic, the key to all of this, is in that first word, non-fungible.
And look, understanding this difference is everything. Something that's fungible is interchangeable. $1 bill is the same as any other dollar bill. You don't care which one you have, they're all worth $1. But non-fungible means it's one of a kind. Think of the actual Mona Lisa. There's only one. You can't just swap it for another painting and have the same thing. NFTs bring that same kind of uniqueness into the digital world.
The best way to think of an NFT is as a digital certificate of authenticity and ownership. It's a public, unforgeable record on that blockchain that proves who owns the original thing. Sure, you can right-click and save the image, but you can't right-click and save the ownership. That's the difference.
And that whole idea of ownership is so crucial. Because online today, well, we have a huge ownership problem. This is the very reason NFTs even need to exist in the first place. Let me ask you this. That awesome skin you bought in a video game, or that song you purchased on a digital store, or even your social media profile, do you actually own it? The answer is almost always no. You're just renting it from a platform. And that platform gets to make all the rules.
Just take this super common example, right? 1. You spend your real money on a cool in-game skin. 2. A couple of years later, the game company decides to shut down the servers. And 3. Poof, your skin just vanishes. Forever. That's because you never really owned it. You were just renting it inside their world.
And this is the exact problem that NFTs are designed to solve. Because an NFT lives on the blockchain, it's not tied to any one company's server. It's stored in your personal crypto wallet. Think of it like a digital backpack that only you can open. And you are the only one with the keys. It is truly 100% yours.
There's a famous saying in the crypto world, and it just perfectly captures this new way of thinking. Your keys refers to the private key of your digital wallet. If you're the only one who holds that key, then you and only you truly control the assets inside. It completely shifts the power from the platform back to you, the user.
Okay, so if NFTs are basically digital deeds of ownership, what can they actually be used for besides just art? This is where it gets really exciting. They are a toolkit for almost everything.
Let's start with gaming. Right now, all your cool items are trapped inside one game. With NFTs, you could sell that rare sword you earned on an open marketplace, or maybe even take it with you into a different compatible game. It transforms players from just being renters into being true owners of their digital stuff.
Or what about music? Artists can sell albums directly to their fans as NFTs, completely cutting out the middleman. But the truly revolutionary part? They can code royalties right into the token. So every single time that album gets resold on a secondary market, the original artist automatically gets a cut. That's a total game changer for creators.
Or think about event tickets. An NFT ticket is virtually impossible to counterfeit, which is amazing. And after the show is over, it doesn't just become a piece of trash. It can become a digital collectible, a permanent, verified souvenir proving you were actually there.
Now imagine your college diploma, your driver's license, or a professional certificate as an NFT. They could be instantly verified by anyone, anywhere in the world, without having to call up some central office. They'd be secure, portable, and permanent.
And this technology can even bridge over into the physical world. An NFT could actually represent the deed to a house or the title to a piece of land. It has the potential to streamline the incredibly complicated, paper-heavy process of transferring real-world property.
Now, look, as with any groundbreaking technology, it is not all smooth sailing. It's really crucial to take a step back and look at the real-world challenges, the hype, and what's actually on the horizon.
We have to be realistic here. The market is incredibly volatile. Prices swing up and down like a roller coaster. And because the space is still pretty new, yeah, there are scams and fraud you really have to watch out for. There's also some confusion around copyright. Owning the NFT doesn't always mean you own the intellectual property. And early on, the environmental concerns about energy use were a huge deal, though thankfully a lot of the newer blockchains are way more efficient now.
The long-term success of this whole thing isn't going to be about hype or crazy speculation. The focus is now shifting to utility. What can these digital objects actually do? What kind of access can they grant you? What real-world problems can they solve?
You know, the ultimate goal is for NFTs to become so common that we don't even think about them. Just like you don't think about the HTTPS protocol when you're browsing a secure website. One day, you'll own and trade digital stuff without even realizing that NFT technology is what's making it all happen. It'll just be the invisible backbone of it all.
So, if you remember just one thing, let it be this idea. NFTs represent a fundamental change in how we relate to the digital world. It's a move away from a model where we're basically just tenants on platforms, renting our digital lives, to one where we can truly own a piece of the internet ourselves. And what that future looks like, well, it's still being written.